It is the 13th of September. Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
You just want to.
What?
Did break.
Oh, okay.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, it's,
It's very good.
what are you doing?
How are you?
One week yet.
Would you like me to bring you a drink?
Let's see, late last night. But he had a straight back. But, not too bad. Got him 6 p.m. in the morning, he goes to the bar.
That's it.
Seems like, because John doesn't like me to be alone, you know?
That's why I came.
I mean,
That's why I came.
yeah, I know, thank you.
It's like, oh, he'll be fine. Like, if you don't want Todd to be alone, he's not gonna be alone, okay?
Thank you.
Besides, I didn't see you for a long time. Maria and Fixin did not come to school nicely. It's like, we want to go as Navy.
Tom Fishon says I am not alone. How am I doing? I don't know, when Tom Fishon came, I was sleeping. In chair. So we're both very tired. Yeah. It's been working, right, so, but we haven't done a lot with this. You know, Robert Levitt was on, program that Robert Levitt has,
I came in, he was talking about tequila.
I'll tell you, being here, this was unbelievable.
Yeah. Tell all my neighbors about you.
I mean,
I tell all the neighbors about you. About how since you came, you've always been learning.
listen, the other day, Rabbi Baum made a comment, he looked at me, he says, you never get excited. You're always calm. He's great, he really is great,
He saved you, Rabbi Baum.
yeah.
He's something else.
It was a little funny, but it seemed to be okay today.
I heard. We checked it this morning before I left, just to make sure it was working.
Yeah.
Renewing them now.
It's amazing. It's the noise it makes. Sometimes you can't even hear yourself.
Yeah, that happened when I came in. They were drilling so hard that you have to like cover your ears when you come through the door.
So I'm thinking these last. I spoke to him, last week. Which, next thing you know.
So then you're like, what? You're making fuss over me.
The medication really did the job.
I hope that they're sure it's the medication. They told you to go down on they told you to go down on the meds. Close this because I'm gonna end up running right into it. My great grandmother, all of her doors were glass in her house. And she would put on sun catchers to let you know where the door was. Goes on, bam, right to the door.
Right now, no. People in smartphones. You don't upgrade it.
Not me. Step away on the phone without the smart stuff. You have a guy who can operate the lights and everything in his house from his phone, so when he's on vacation, he can make the lights go on and off as if he's home. I told him his house is gonna turn against him and lock the door.
They're in class, Rabbi Val, he looked at me, he said I wasn't doing too well, he called John up right away. He came over
The smartest thing,
and they were trying to figure out what it was, and he said, it was a medication. That happens sometimes, you do something and then this,
but you've been taking this one for a while.
no, it was new. It was new medication
For what?
for the neuropathy. The doctor switched it and said, let's try this.
And it was working?
No, it was okay, I don't know. I mean, it did help my leg. In the beginning.
Would you like a drink, hot, cold? This- This motion.
Okay, we're back. Good morning, Roy.
Good morning, Rabbi Levitt. Sorry I wasn't this morning. I wasn't well. This is the first year I'm attending today.
Oh, well. Oh, Baruch Hashem, now you're feeling better. Baruch Hashem.
Yeah.
Asdei Hashem.
My migraines were active. I think it might be the weather.
Yes. The weather's always different. Did the weatherman say that this is what's going to happen today?
I don't know. I haven't really done much today. I haven't looked at much today. Haven't been up to it.
Oh, right. Of course.
He has a very bad back.
Well. Okay, so we are here in Bava Kama, Perik Gozel Amachal, the 10th Perik, on Daf Kuf Yud Gimel Amud Beis, 113b, and we are trying to understand this case. The Gemora brought up a question over here about the Melech and his commands in regard to making this bridge. So let's just recap. Oh, here comes Phil. Phil's waiting to come in. So let's take a look at this case again. Let's read this case again. We're starting from Ve'ema Hani Mili. No. Sorry. That's not where we're starting from. We're not starting from there. We're starting from Vaha, Lo Ka'avde Kida Amar Malka.
Which page is that again?
This is on 113b, towards the to the ends of the page.
Or
You're saying the Holo Ka'avde, the Ka'omamalka?
Yeah.
That's 113 B4 on the right, the bottom two lines.
okay.
By it further.
Yeah, let's see this. Let's see this section again. And we go to, let's see, who wants to read now? Alan, would you like to read? Are you able to read now?
That's two lines, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Abaya page further.
Abaya asks further. Low, Core, Day, Beta, Mar, Mambor. And they, i.e., those who chop down trees, do not do as the king said. Mal Be or Mar, Zilo, the Kit Lo, Mikol, Bonet. The king instructed them, go and cut down the trees from all the valleys. Either who or Lu, the Kotor, Lo, mechar bonor, whereas they go and chop down all the trees they need from a single valley. Rava answers, Shila four, but Badala four, no, the king's emissary has the same status as the king himself, and it is understood that he will not bother to take trees from every valley. The people whose trees were confiscated are entitled to reimbursement from the owners of the trees in the other valleys. And if they did not get reimbursed, they brought about their own loss. The because they could have obtained compensation from the owners of the trees and all of the valleys and collected money from them, but they did not do so. Robert discusses another situation where one party may be forced.
Okay, we're gonna stop. Okay, that's good, Alan.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the whole story. So the Gemora asked a a question over here. At this point in the Gemora, in other words, we were saying that we do see that the law of the king is in fact the law of the land, and that's the only reason that we can explain how it is that that when he takes trees from private people in order to make a bridge, that that we can walk across the bridge, and it'll be permissible for us to make use of that bridge, because it's not regarded as stolen property, because the king has an authority to expropriate the trees in order to build the bridge. That's called the tree tax, right? The king has the right to make taxes, and this is called the tree tax. And in fact, you see that look, he's giving you back something too. He didn't just take the trees from you, and now he goes out and he goes to a fancy restaurant and gorges himself. He's making you a nice bridge so that you can go across the bridge. So that is totally permissible for him to do, and therefore there's no gezel involved, and like that, that's how we walk across the bridge. So now the Gemara is presenting a difficulty with this. What happens if the guys that were working for the king, his emissaries, his agents, they didn't do exactly what the king commanded them to do. Why? Because the king told them to cut down the trees from all of the areas so that there should be an equality, and no one should have to bear the tax. The tax should be equal. But they didn't do that. They just decided that we're not going to do that. We're going to just cut down from one location and build the bridge and make it easier like that. And so the Gemara therefore has a question, because if they didn't do what the king told them to do, then they're not really acting under the orders and authority of the king, and therefore the whole rule of the law of the king is the law of the land doesn't work. So on that, the Gemara is answering that, and this is what we have to explain today. Shlucha de Malka Kamalka. The Gemara is answering that the emissaries of the king, who are carrying out the orders of the king, they have a halachic status of a king themselves. Now, what does that mean that they have a halachic status of a king themselves? The Gemara explains, below Torah. And they don't have to put themselves out in order to fulfill the order of the king. And what does that mean practically? What that means is that the king tells them to go around all over and put themselves out, and so that they'll cut one tree over here and cut one tree over there and one tree over there, so there'll be an equal distribution of the tax. They are not obligated. This is what Rashi says. Maybe we should read the Rashi. Let's read the Rashi. We got two Rashis over here in this sugi over here. The first Rashi is v'holo avdei shluchuse kedamar malka.
V'holo avdei shluche kedamar, and behold, he did not do the agency that the king said. The ishtachach, and we don't find the lav dina the machsud. We don't find that it's a din of the king of the kingdom. Of rinan aleya, is it passed on it?
See if you get the color.
Ve'amai avrinan alayhu.
Black and white.
Oh, the color.
So why is it, if what's going to be coming out over here is that the law of the land has not been fulfilled, so therefore they're not acting with the authority of the law of the land and doing what they did, the emissaries, and if so what that means, says Rashi, is what the Gemara is really asking is, Amai avrinan alayu. So how can we cross over these bridges?
It's something funny yesterday.
The Gemara was saying that we cross over the bridges and it's permissible, and that's the proof that the law of the king is the law of the land. And the Gemara is saying, but if the agents are not going to do what the king told them to do, so then they're not acting under the authority of the king. They're unauthorized actions, what they do. If so, then it's gezel. And if so then how can it be that we allow ourselves to walk over these bridges? They're making use of stolen property. That's what Rashi's explaining is the import of the Gemara's question over here. Gemara is really asking a question. It's not just saying, by the way, the Avdei Amelech, the servants of the king, they didn't do what the king told them to do. If they didn't do what the king told them to do, then we got a big problem, because there's no halakhic authority which would allow us to walk across that bridge now. That's what the question that Gemara is putting on the table now. So now the answer is, the Gemara is answering this. So in other words, the Gemara is saying that no, this is not so. There is a valid law of the land which the emissaries are acting according to, and therefore that is why we do walk across this bridge. How does it work, though? So there's two steps over here. The first step is, the Gemara says, which Rashi doesn't explain, shlucha de malka kamalka. Literally, the agent of the king, he is like a king himself. Now, what does that mean? What is the point of that? The point of that is saying that what this is going to mean is what the Gemara says in the next two words, v'lo torach. And he, the emissary of the king, does not need to put himself out. And let's read the next Rashi. Lou, you want to read the next Rashi? Below Torah.
Below Torah, and he does not trouble himself. Ein alav the Torah velikach mizeh echad umizeh echad. It's not incumbent upon him to trouble himself and to take from this one and from this one. In other words, the agent of the king is not obligated to follow the instructions exactly by taking from different places. He can go and take them all from one place.
He can take them all from one place, and that's not called that he's not acting in consonance with his agency that the king sent him on a mission to do this cutting down of the trees. And then Rashi doesn't. There's not another Rashi over here. But that's what the Gemora says. So what does it mean over here in this case? What it means is, who is going to be the ones who are required to be putting themselves out? Is the valley where the trees were cut down by the emissaries. They are going to have upon them the obligation and the bother to get reimbursed for their trees from the other people that live in the other valleys where the trees are, in order to get paid back. In other words, let's say the agents of the king, they cut down 1,000 trees in this area that they cut, and no other place did they cut any other trees. They needed 1,000 trees. So let's say that there was let's say there was 1,000 people that lived in that area that had 1,000 trees. So, but in the other areas, there's, let's say, another 9,000 people that live, and so therefore, what we have to say is, let's say that each tree costs, $1,000. So we got 1,000 trees and $1,000. How much is that?
$1 million.
$1 million. So that $1 million, that was a tax that was paid by these 1,000 people that live in this particular valley. That's going to be distributed. It's going to be upon them to get back. In other words, there's 10,000 people that got to pay $1 million worth of trees. So instead of those 1,000 people having to pay the whole 1,000 trees, it's going to be upon them to get reimbursed from those other 9,000 people for their share of the 1,000 trees that was taken. And so like that, we do have a Dina Malchus Adina. We have that the emissaries were acting according to what they were required to do, because of this rule that the king's emissary himself has a status of a king. He doesn't have to be torech, doesn't have to put himself out. The people that live there will be the ones that have to get reimbursed from the cutting down of the trees, and like that, it's a validly executed order of the king. And like that, that's why we can walk across these bridges that they built with those 1,000 trees. Okay.
It's like saying that since I got tax and you didn't, I'm going to get my reimbursed from you.
Yeah.
What?
Right.
How come
That'll be the fulfillment of the king's order. That's the way the king's order is going to be validly and legally fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
The responsibility is going to be on the residents of that valley that had all of their trees cut down.
Right. So those people, instead of being taxed by the trees, their tax have been converted to money.
Yeah, they'll pay they'll pay they'll pay back in money. Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, you want to say it's still a little bit unequal because really the all these people, they got their forest has been adversely affected over here. They got all these trees cut off in their forest over there, and the other people, they didn't have anything. They didn't have any fallout with their trees. They got a nice forest still. They just got to pay money. So it was that valley got even though they're going to get money for it, but it's not really. They really would have rather had the tree. Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't quite thinking of that, but yes, that's a good angle.
That's the way though the king's decision works.
Mm.
On the other hand, doing it like this would make it it's really costing less because the workers are not going to have to spend all of their time traveling around to cut other trees down and also to transport them to where the bridges are supposed to be built.
Mm.
But in any case, those are all details. Those are all details. We're what we're saying is we're saying a very important principle that the emissary of the king, he has the status of a king. And so just like the king doesn't have to put himself out, that's why he told these emissaries to do the work. So the emissaries, they got to do the work, but they don't have to put themselves out more than is necessary. And so the extent of them the extent of their obligation is to cut down trees and build the bridge, but they don't have to be toreach. They don't have to put themselves out and take one tree from this valley and 2 trees from that valley and 3 trees from that valley. That's not what they have to do. They're not required to go that far to do that. Okay, so now we got okay, Omar Rava. We're up to Omar Rava. Omar Rava. And now, yeah, Omar Rava man de mishtakach. The first word in the line is dummy. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lines from the bottom of the page. And we go to Roy to continue the reading.
Omar Rava said, man de mishtakach bebei Dare Pere Minasa de Morocco. The one remaining partner. Oh,
And Mishtaka, the bay,
what are we doing? This is something completely different. Right. The one remaining partner is found in the granary, pays the king's portion. That is, he pays the entire tax on the produce of all the partners, who must then reimburse him. This is a sudden change. Same thing, but different situation. A qualification of this law. However, this applies only in the case of a partner. Of Arisa, but if the tax collector takes the produce from a sharecropper who has no rights of ownership on the land, Arisu say who declare mafik. It is his sharecropper's portion that the collector is taking, and that constitutes robbery.
Okay. Let's see the Rashi over here. The Mishtokach B'Bei Dori.
Shtachet b'bei dori. That it was found in the house of them, of the other one. Ayu Arba'a Shutfim. There are four partners. Begorin in the granary. The Hevi Shloshim Chaltam. Three of them brought their portion. They paid Tom in the house. Haraviyah, and the fourth one, Nimtza Begorin, and the fourth one is still in the granary. So
his portion of the his portion of the tvua of the grains he did not take home yet. So his portion out of all the partners is the only one that's left now in the at the threshing floor. So now when the representative of the king, he comes to take taxes from them, what is he going to do? He's not going to be required to go to each one of these guys and take each one's individual portion. He's got a right. He's got a right to take all of the tax from this one guy's portion, and that's that. And what's going to happen? I guess that fourth partner, he's going to have to. I think he has a right to claim from the other partners to equal out the tax that was upon the granary.
So we're saying that someone hasn't taken home his portion of the grain, and when the taxman came, so the taxman just got all his stuff.
Well, the taxman's got to get his stuff, but the difference is there are four partners. Three of them are home. One of them is where the grain is. So in the granary. So the one who's in the granary gave for all four partners. So they're allowed to do that case. He can collect, he's at the granary, he can pay for the four of them because they're partners. But if they're not partners, it's a different situation. That's what the Risa. Risa is a totally different situation. The Risa is somebody who it's not, it's somebody who has their individual portion, and then from their individual portion, they have to give a certain percentage of it to the owner. So it's not like they're partners in it. Each one has their own individual thing and each individual responsible. So that's why it's a Vali Risa. It's a different case. That's not this Rashi.
Yeah, we didn't
Okay.
read that Rashi yet. Lou, you want to read that Rashi?
We have one Rashi before that. Hara Masna Demalka. He pays.
Let's do that one. Okay. Yeah, right.
That Rashi is next.
Okay, I'm not sure exactly where it is.
Okay. Do you see where are you looking at an art scroll or not?
Art scroll.
Okay. If you see where the gray line starts on the right, go to the Rashi on the left, and that's where the para is.
Para, mincha,
Manata. Yeah.
Okay, so it was an afternoon sacrifice of the king?
No, para. He collects.
He collects.
He pays off. He pays the king's portion.
He pays off the king's portion. Bishvil kulam, for all of them. Ule kishibo chavero ein yicholin lomar shalcha hi below shalanu. And his friend is not able to say it's yours and it's not ours. The im gabe zeh Yisrael hu shekana min hamelech es emesh ein kain mishum gezel de dina de malkusa dina ve'im kosi hu mutar lekanos mimenu. Let's see. So he pays the whole thing, and the others cannot say it's not our responsibility. And if I don't know what this is. This Gabbai Zu Yisrael.
Okay, this is now referring to the tax collector. Rashi's calling him a Gabbai. He's the one who was entrusted with the getting the tax from this granary, and so Rashi's got two things to say over here. The first thing he says is "Im Gabbai Zeh Yisrael Hu." If the Gabbai, the one that was appointed by the king to collect the grains from the granary, if he is a Jew, so then what's the din?
That he acquires from the king a fifth. Is that chamesh?
No.
No.
The tax.
He acquires the tax from the king, and it's not theft because of Dina Malchus Dina.
Right.
And if he's not Jewish, then it's mutar, it's permissible to buy from him.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, that's the question over here. Why is Rashi dividing the dividing over here? What is it? What is the first halacha have to do with being a Jew, and what does the second halacha have to do with being a non-Jew? So,
and what is the second one saying? What does it mean it can buy from him? I don't.
Okay, so this is like what we said originally when we started this whole section. Remember, we had a case of a tax collector, and the tax collector's box. Can you make change from the tax collector's box?
Right.
So we said no, because we're assuming that the Mishnah is talking about a case where he's not a duly appointed tax collector, or he just takes what he wants and he doesn't take what the king told him to take. So it's regarded as being gezel. He's not acting under the authority of the law of the king, being the law of the land, and therefore you can't take from him. Here we're saying that you would be able to acquire from him this grain that he has taken from the granary, because he took it according to the law of the king. Meaning that
okay, so in the second case, you can't acquire from him.
You can acquire it from him. In Kusihu, if he's a non-Jew, mutter, it's totally permissible, liknos mimenu, to buy from him.
Oh.
If he wants to sell you some of this grain, you don't have to refrain, because you're concerned that it's stolen grain, that he was not didn't have a right to take that grain. Because you might think to say, well, because he took it all from one guy, from one partner. It's gezel. No, it's not gezel. He doesn't have to. The tax collector doesn't have to go around to all four guys. He goes to the granary. He takes what the fair tax is to take from the granary. Happened to be that all the grain that was actually there only belonged to one partner, but that's that partner's problem. He's going to have to get reimbursed from the other three partners, and they're not allowed to refuse him either. That's what Rashi said in the first part of the Rashi. They don't have a right to say, that was your bad luck, Joe. Tough luck on you. No, they got to pay him. They got to pay him their part of the tax of the grain, and like that, Rashi's saying that if one would want to buy the grain from this agent, he would be allowed to do so, because it's not regarded as being stolen in ill-gotten grain.
So there's no difference between the Jew and the non-Jew.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why right now Rashi is talking about a Jew and a non-Jew.
In either
Maybe to
case,
make it clear.
Sadina, correct?
Right? Yeah. In other words, this person that came, he's we're saying that he did according to the law of the king, and so there's no gezel over here, and so therefore. He had a right to do what he did, and it's not, and what he has in his possession, this grain, is not called stolen grain, and you can buy from him if he wants to sell you grain, if you need grain. The first part, what Rashi said, if he's a Jew, if the Gabbai is a Jew, and then he says, what are we talking about over here? He explains a little bit about the procedure of how this person is doing over here. He's an agent of the king, and he's authorized to collect on behalf of the king. But how does it work? What Rashi says is, im Gabbai ze Yisrael, if the Gabbai here, the representative, is a Jew. Hu shekona mina melech, he was the one that bought from the king. He bought this from the king as amos. He bought the tax from the king. What does that mean? He bought the tax from the king. It means that he, in other words, pays to the king a certain sum of money in order to have the king's authority to collect the tax. That's how that's how it works. And so,
And when he collects the tax, he keeps it for himself.
right, then it belongs to him.
But that's only the Jew.
Yeah, I don't know why he says Jew over here. I'm not sure. Somebody should explain this. I would think it's not immediately obvious to me why this over here he's mentioning a Jew and over there he's mentioning a non-Jew. I'm not sure, but it's certainly one thing is for sure. It's not by accident that Rashi said that.
Right.
Maybe he said it to be clear that what you might think.
ואם הגבאי שגובה את המס הוא ישראל, אין בכך משום גזל, כי כך הוא דין למלכוס, אלא של שאר השותפים, וזדה. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Does Art Scroll say anything?
I'm just reading it. I don't know.
I think, Roy, you read 44, right? Or you read 45?
Yeah, I think so. There's nothing there I can see.
Yeah, that just talks about the Jew. It doesn't talk about
It, note 40. The note 40, the second paragraph. If the tax collector is a Jew, he is permitted under halacha to collect from the one remaining partner. Since this is permitted by the law of the kingdom, it does not constitute robbery. And if the tax collector is not a Jew, that's the tutti part, there is a practical consequence that the produce he took from the solitary partner is not stolen, and the Jew may therefore buy it from him.
That's what Art Scroll says.
That's what Art Scroll says Rashi means. And it quotes
Okay.
Rashi.
No explanation either.
It gives references.
Why this one is talking about? Why does Rashi mention Jew over here and mention non-Jew over there? I don't know.
He gives references. He says, have a look in Parisha and Choshen Mishpat. Choshen Mishpat, that he says 369.9.
69.9 and Choshen Mishpat.
369.9.
Okay. That's a citation to Shulchan Aruch. 369.9.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, it's already time. Okay.
All right.
Hey, by the bell, Rabbi.
See, Shlucha de Malka Malka. I don't have to be Tareach today.
Oh,
Okay.
you've got your assignment.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. See you all
But
next
I think we understand why it is what we understand this halacha over here now. That he's not. It's not regarded. We understand why it is that the agents that cut down the trees are not regarded as violating the order of the king now. Which yesterday we had a problem with that.
Right. Yeah, we made some progress. It's true.
Okay.
Okay, take care.
All the
thank
best.
you.
All
Bye-bye.
right.
Bye, Phil. Bye, Roy. Bye, Lou, and bye, Alan.
Bye
See you,
bye.
everybody. See you, everybody. Bye for now.
Have a good day. Bezrat Hashem. We'll meet tomorrow.